It's expensive to be made.
Welcome to Bravo's Moms Unfiltered, the podcast where real moms spill the tea on all the things Bravo and the chaos of everyday life.
We're your hosts, Allie and Crystal, two Bravo-assessed moms who aren't afraid to say what everyone's thinking completely unfiltered.
From Housewives drama to mom life meltdowns, we're here to break it all down with humor, honesty, and maybe a little bit of bitching.
So grab your favorite drink, settle in, and get ready for some unfiltered fun. Welcome back, Bravo moms. We have a lot to dive into. What should we start with?
You can get Housewives episode 13. They go to Scotland. It's very short. Wasn't a lot.
Atlanta? Okay, let's do it.
Yeah, Atlanta Housewives, the whole drama. The ladies travel to Scotland Phaedra and Portia both were in Traitors. On the Traitor show, Portia got kicked off like right away, but Phaedra has been on the show several times, is a guest. It made her, however, made friends with the host and stuff like that. So they went to Scotland and got to stay at one of the houses. And it was huge. It was a castle. And the ladies get there. They're celebrating Phaedra's birthday. We won't ask how old she was or how old she is. She still looks like she's in her mid 40s. Cynthia's scared of the castle. She's like, it reminds me of a murder movie where a bunch of Caucasian people come into the house and then they play the game. She's like, it reminds me of all those old Scottish movies. They all sit down to have a lunch and they start going in. Shamia and Angela, they're just butting heads. And I feel like Angela, it has it out for Shamia because she's doing Portia's dirty work. And so they're just going back and forth and basically talking, going back and forth. Angela's like making false allegations out there. Shamia doesn't know why. And comes to find out, Angela was upset because they had an event and Angela's daughter was there. And Shamia had made a comment like, you're nicer than your mom. And so that trickled down to why Angela is spreading all these like false rumors. Instead of confronting her and being like, hey, did you say this? Why would you say this? Like, like that's my daughter. Please don't talk bad about me. It could have come out maturely, but Angela's being petty and going in, and Shamia doesn't know why until this trip. And what does she say? Angela, something like, you slept with some person named George. And so Angela goes, did you F George? And because he paid you so much for a charity event, a cancer charity event, and he wrote a big fat check. And so you slept with him. And so Shamia's like, that's a stretch. And Shamia like gets on the phone because she starts talking to this girl. And the girl's like, no, I never said anything. I would never say that. I don't want to get in the middle. But Angela did ask if I had any dirt on you, and I said no. So it got very into it between them this episode. And just like defamation, like defaming, like Angela's going in hard on her, which could hurt her career, her motherhood, her, basically her life, like her luxury life that she lives. So we'll see how that goes. And K. Michelle points it out and says, if any of the other girls were accused of cheating on their husbands, I don't think they would be calm about it.
Yeah.
I wouldn't be calm about it. So she pointed that out, and they all end up walking off, and Angela calls that girl that Shamia was texting. I think her name was Amanda.
Okay.
And so Angela calls this girl. It's Portia, Phaedra, and Angela in the bedroom. Because Portia's like, now, like, where are you coming up with this? Like, do you have facts? Do you have proof? Like, anything? So Angela calls this girl Amanda that Shamia's been texting. And Amanda basically goes like, no, I never told you that. And Angela's like, I never said you told me that. I never said anybody told me that. And so Portia and Phaedra are looking at each other. Well, then who told you? She's like, nobody. I did. I'm the one that said it. And so it was like, well, how do you know?
Yeah.
And like, were you in the room? And so it just got really weird. All the ladies in the confessions were like, we don't believe it's true. And they know why Angela's doing it. She's doing it to be petty.
Yeah, she is.
The ladies, they get ready for dinner, everybody looks nice, and that's basically the whole episode was this whole Angela and Shamia debacle. They go to dinner, but the dinner doesn't end up well because before they can even have their meal, they start going in and ruin dinner, and then people walk off, and that's the night. It gets too
Yeah.
loud. Atlanta Housewives, they get really loud, and then it just gets to the point where you're screaming, but you don't know what you're screaming about.
Mhm.
So, it wasn't a very exciting episode.
I have to admit, I have not watched any of the season.
I
I cannot get into the season.
Yeah, it's not that exciting.
I can do Rhode Island. I have 3 episodes. The final and then both reunions.
Okay, I
Both.
was obsessed with it. I
Mhm.
keep saying, "Your husband's a slut."
I keep saying, "Quackus." I need a quacka. I
I
just love how she
can't.
says it. She needs to, like, get merch or something.
I know. We need to get the shirt or a mug that says, "Your husband's a slut."
Yes. Alright, so this is the final.
Okay.
So the ladies are going to Block Island with their guys, husbands, boyfriends, whatever. They have to take a speedboat to this island, and once they get there, it is like freezing cold. So they're outside in like blankets with like heaters on. Liz and Joellen talk and say they have missed each other and they want to move on from this whole fight. Rilla said she hasn't been feeling well between work and her husband, which we all know why. She said she's in tune with what's going on with her husband, and there's always a story behind the story, which is always her excuse.
It's wild.
Bill wants to do a re-proposal to Alicia today. I forget who. I think he tells Brian that. Rosie tells Joe Ellen about when about when she told Rula about the video, and she said Rula didn't even want to watch it, and she was saying that it's fake without watching it, and that's AI and it's made up, and anyone can put a timestamp on a video. Rula says she went to Joe. I don't know what I'm saying, what I said there. Rula and Joellen talk, and Joellen tells Rula asked for proof, and now that she got proof, Joellen doesn't, or Rula doesn't even want to look at it. While everyone is getting ready for dinner, Bill brings Alicia out to repropose to her, and it's cute. He's got like flowers and
It's cute.
candles and
I
everything.
saw it.
And
It
I
was
just
cute.
love that everyone that face the room's face the proposer are like, woohoo, Alicia, and like videotaping it. And she's all like,
Yeah.
yeah. So he reproposes to her because I guess he really didn't do it in like a romantic way the first time, and he didn't even ask, I think, her parents if they could like even get married. So he
He
redoes it.
seems like a really nice guy, though. Like,
He does. He
non-confrontational, just, like,
right. Yes. And
calm.
especially at the reunion, which we'll get into, I thought he seems very genuine compared to
Yeah.
most of the housewives husbands that
She
we've
said
seen.
he even said, he's like, "I didn't even know that she was fighting with all the girls."
Yep. Mm-hmm.
And I was like,
So, where am I? Alicia keeps saying that he didn't get down on one knee when they first had the proposal or ask her mom. And Bill keeps saying, let's just live in this moment. Let's not like rehash what happened before. Joellen talks to Rula and says, you wanted proof. I have proof, but she doesn't want to see this video. Brian admits to Joellen's husband that he fucked up and that he was taped. And he says that Joellen isn't a liar. So then Gary tells the group that Brian admitted it to him, which I thought that was kind of, I did not expect Brian to admit it. I thought he was going to keep playing it off, but he did. He admitted it on camera. At dinner, Kelsey has a marriage game for couples. Rilla gets a good question about the most embarrassing thing her husband has done in public, and she passes the question to Brian, which of course she's not going to answer the question. Brian makes a speech saying he isn't proud of what he's done and that they're moving on and that they were made popular because of it, which I wouldn't say popular. I would just say that you had an affair and it got out. So that's why I guess you could say you're popular. People are talking about you. Plus, he's well known in the area for being a foot doctor. So Rula starts crying, saying, you don't know what's going to hit you. You don't know what's going to hit you, and when it does, hit you in the face. So this is where we leave off. We leave off with Joe Ellen's house is still under construction, and she still does not want kids. Joe Ellen and her mom are still working on the relationship, and she's still talking to the mistress. Liz is going to be a grandma to a little girl. Kelsey and Bill are still together, and she's paying more of her bills. Ashley still has Audrey's and is still doing brand deals, and Alicia and Bill are planning their wedding, and she's still doing the creative for Pizza Mama. Rula has forgiven Brian, but fall wasn't much better. And then we go to 1 month later. 1 month later, Brian was charged with domestic violence. He placed a tracker on Rula's car, and Rula filed a no contact order. October 2025, Joe Ellen and Liz meet up, and they She said that she texted Rula saying she was thinking of her. And Rula meets up with the other girls, and she said she was under the impression that she was being tracked, or she had a feeling. So she took her car to the dealership, and they said they can't do anything about it. So they take her car to the police station, and that's when she did, and they found the tracker. So Brian got arrested. He cannot be in the house. They had a no contact order, and Joe Allen said that the mistress picked him up from jail. And she said, did you miss that part?
I missed
Yeah.
it. I gotta
Yeah.
watch the last episode.
Yeah, she said the mistress picked him up from jail, and she said, Brian wouldn't have put it on his car, wouldn't have put it on Rula's car if he didn't have a good reason. And like they talk about in the reunion, I think he placed a tracker on Rula's car to know where Rula was at all times, so he could have his affair whenever he wanted to,
Yeah.
or know when to have his mistress leave. I
Mhm.
think find like because then if you have an iPhone, you can do like you can share your location with your friends. But
No.
I think he wanted 2 points of contact to make sure that if she didn't have her phone, he knew exactly where she
He
was, or
knew where
vice
she
versa.
was. Mhm.
So now we'll
That's
segue
wild.
into reunion part 1. Cerula says after 25 years, she got a rhinoplasty, which I think is just what, like a facelift?
A rhinoplasty is a nose job.
A nose job? Okay. So she got that done after 25 years. Andy asked Kelsey and Rosie when they started their feud. He said it can't be about a haircut. Rosie said it's about some information she got before they started filming, and it's about her personality and then the haircut. So it sounds like she got some information. She doesn't like Rosie's personality, and now it's the haircut thing. Kelsey says Rosie posted about Pizza Mama when she didn't really know Alicia, but she wouldn't post about the haircut. And I don't know why Kelsey is so butthurt about this haircut, but
Mhm.
Rosie paid her, and there was an agreement that said you have to post
Right.
that I gave you a haircut.
Usually, if I'm not gonna pay you, at least post. But if you paid
Yeah,
me, you can do whatever you want. If you wanna post,
right,
don't post.
right.
But
Yeah,
if I give you these services for free, would you do the niceness of
correct,
posting? I mean, you're
correct.
in that market and you know
Yes,
how it
correct.
goes. Right.
Mhm.
So
And it's clear that they have not made up again. Andy asked who thought the siren was funny when Kelsey showed up to Rosie's house. Liz, Joe Ellen, and Kelsey all raised their hands. Rosie said when she was on NBC 10, she had to leave for medical reasons, and the guy they said she had an affair with was caught with a student reporter. Joellen and Kelsey said it was her because he was caught with a DUI and she was named in the report. So Rosie says that she has not heard of this and there is no proof. And they said there is a report out there that when he got pulled over for the DUI, she was named in it. So something is not adding up here.
I don't know.
And then I didn't understand this, but evidently Liz and Gary are related down the road. Something about her mom's mom. So she married someone she's related to. Did you catch that part in the first part of the reunion?
Lucy is Mary.
Liz and Gary.
Liz and Gary are related.
Yeah.
Are they married? They're not
I
married.
thought that was her husband. Maybe it's Joe Ellen's husband. I get all the guys
Gary?
confused, their
I
names.
know. I know.
Anyways, so someone is supposedly related. So Rula made a comment about Liz and Gary. So Rula said, "When Gary is away, the mouse will play," which insinuated that Liz has cheated while Gary has been gone. And she said this in one of her confessionals, which I didn't even remember her saying this. So Liz said that she went out with a friend that she hadn't seen in a while, and the next day Gary got a phone call from Rula and Brian telling Gary that she was out with this guy.
Right.
Rula said that they did not call Gary, and she was pretty adamant about that. So I was like, that's interesting. Evidently, Rula does not know anything about Brian. Andy asked Kelsey about hooking up with Dino, and under Liz's breath, she said that Dino is in the news for not good reasons. So Kelsey talks about hooking up with Dino, and she said that was when she was running for Miss Rhode Island at the time. We get Ashley's cry count of the season. It was only 7 times. It felt like 30 times. I feel like she cried so much this season. Ashley talks about how hard it is to make friends in your 30s, which I 100% agree. It is very hard to make friends in your 30s, especially with kids. Jo Ellen said she decided to be a stay-at-home mom now. She wants to be with her kids. And I wonder if she had never been on TV, if she would still go down that path.
Of being a
So I wonder,
stay-at-home.
yeah, I wonder if the show kind of helped her because now she can
Yeah.
get brand deals, you know what I mean? Like all this stuff on top of that. Liz and Joe Ellen haven't made amends yet. Liz don't want to apologize. Liz said they aren't friends, but Joe Ellen said they spent Mother's Day together, which I thought was kind of strange. Why would you do that if you're not friends? Kelsey said she did feel Rosie was being genuine during that one scene where she told her that, but Rosie still feels like Kelsey was being sarcastic. So part two, this was like the best part. I loved part two. So part two, Rula is still yelling and stands up to Andy. Rula's still yelling at Joellen, and she stands up so fast that Andy stands up so fast. Did you see that part? In part two, I was like, whoa, he stood up fast. Andy asked when Rosie's house will be done, and she said mid-July and that it will be 5,000 square foot. So this brings Andy to ask Kelsey if she's okay with that, and she said she does not care. Rosie says, I'm going to get my binder. And Andy says, no, sit down. You do not need to get your binder. Kelsey says it's the same blueprints that the previous owners were, I guess, we're going to expand this house. And Kelsey's saying they're using the exact same blueprints that these previous owners had
No.
made out. That's what Kelsey says. And we'll never know because she couldn't get her.
She couldn't get her binder. Why didn't you have her binder
Yeah,
ready? Girl, you gotta be
I
ready.
know. Alicia and her crackers crack me up. She just kept saying quacker. Kelsey and Andy tell Alicia that she needs to get her own bank account and have full control over it since she is now making more money than she was before. She talks about how she has to go through this person to get access to her account. I didn't really understand it, but when the way she was talking about it, I felt like Brian was trying to set her up to fail, but I feel like he actually is trying to do good for her. But I don't think it would hurt for her to have her own bank account because of the show and any brand deals that she's going to get. So that way she can have control over her money. Because like Andy said, we have seen so many housewives not have that control and access to their account, and then everything goes downhill from there.
Well, what happens is you put all the money together and then your taxes are due and everything's together. And then you hire a
Correct.
CPA and a CPA is like, it's a guessing game. You just gave me
Correct.
a bunch of mumbo jumbo
Money. Yep.
together. So now I got to guess and stuff like that. So it's wise to keep it separate.
Kelsey talks about in 2014 when she got hit by a drunk driver and she got a CT and they found a brain tumor. And she held off on surgery until after she was done with her pageant to get that brain tumor removed. Andy brings up if Kelsey was ever an escort, and she said she was never an escort and never will be. Kelsey said her and her ex never had any kind of agreement. She said she learned things when she was not with him. So she heard about when he had that girl in Miami and he confronted him about it, and he ended up meeting up with the girl in Miami and him, and they actually became friends, and that's how she became cool with the whole thing.
Mm-hmm.
She says she was jealous at the beginning until she met up with that person, and then they had a mutual agreement. And I don't believe he is still with that girl, if I'm not mistaken. And she said her ex was going to be in the show until he realized it was a housewife show, and then he declined. So could you imagine? He could have been on the series, but he declined because he's like, oh, it's Housewives. I don't want to do that. And he dated Paula Abdul, so I Googled him, and he popped up instantly. And Kelsey said that she used to stay at Paula Abdul's house in LA with
I
the
remember that.
guy. Yeah.
Yeah,
So as soon as I Googled that, he popped up instantly.
that's wild.
Let's see. I know. Kelsey says she pays for her car now and she pays for her or Bill pays for her car and she pays for her health insurance. Andy asked if the ladies think Rula was actually sick, and the ladies, most of them raised her hand. Ashley says she also thinks it was stress induced, which I 100% think it was stress induced. There's no way.
Yeah.
There's too much going on with Brian and everything else that she couldn't focus.
Mm-hmm.
Rula says she's trying to work on things and she has a tracking app and that they would track each other. Joellen told the mistress that Bill was
Wait,
tracking
Rula said
Rula.
this?
Yeah, they're trying to work on things.
So they're
And that
tracking each other, but he just went to jail for tracking her.
Yeah, so it sounds like they were tracking each other on their phones, which I track Romeo all the time on my phone because I want to know where he's at. So it sounds
Yeah.
like that's what she meant by tracking, but I think he went a step farther by putting that tracker on her car.
Okay.
So Joellen said the mistress told her that he is tracking Rula to see where she is at. And then this is where Joellen starts to question everything. So Joellen questions when Brian divorced his Spanish teacher. Joellen says it was 2016 and shows the screenshots, and Rula said it was 2013. That's a 3-year difference right there. Joellen says when they got married, Brian was still legally married because he was. She shows the court documents that he filed in 2011 and it was finalized in 2016. And Rula was like, well, that's not what he told me, because I think she said they got married in 2016, which now thinking about everything she said, I don't think they're legally married.
I
I
don't
think
think
they were
they're
married, air quotes, legally in the church, but I don't think they are legally married on paper
by the
by the
state.
court.
Yeah.
Correct.
Because
And it's
she would
because
be
of
able to pull it. It's public record, right? And
correct.
I mean, how can you get
Correct.
it private unless you're famous, but you're not that famous?
Correct. Correct. Yeah, exactly. So
So
I don't think they're legally married. So now all the guys come out. So Andy asks Gary about the whole situation about her kind of cheating on him. And when Gary and Liz were separated, a friend of his called him and he was with Brian and they were on the phone and they told him that she was dancing with another friend. So
mhm,
this confirms that Brian actually was the person that called and he was with another mutual friend of Gary's. And Rula
mhm,
had no idea that this happened. She
mhm.
was shocked. Bill says so now we go to Bill and Alicia. Andy brings up the whole money thing. Bill says he suggested monthly meetings to go over finances, and he wishes he would have done their prenup differently, which I think shows that he's a good
I
guy
love her answer.
and that
She's like,
he
"You
is
want me to
looking
sit in a meeting?"
right,
I was like, "Girl,
right.
amen."
So
Nobody wants to sit there, show
I think
PowerPoint,
he's right, and I think
and
he's
you're
learned from how he was previously and how he kinda wants to go forward and especially show their daughter how it should be done. Bill says he has something for Alicia, and he pulls out a piece of paper, and it's 50% shares for driving their daughter to dance class. And everyone's like, "Go ahead and sign it." So she ends up signing it, so she ends up getting 50% shares of Pizza Mom.
thought that was so sweet of him to
I
do.
thought that was very sweet too of
I mean,
him.
I wouldn't have signed it right there, I would have had my lawyer look it over.
Right, right.
But I thought that was very like, that's what I'm saying, like, he's a nice guy, like,
He
he
is, and it
doesn't
seems like
look like a problematic person.
he's actually listening to what she is saying. And not just, like, in
Yeah,
one ear and out the other. He's like, "Okay, I heard you. You want more shares. I'm gonna give you more shares, but I need you to do more in return for me to get these shares."
and he was like, "I need you to drive the daughter to practice," or whatever, and she was like, "Well, does my mom count?" And he was like,
I know, right?
"No, you need
It
to
has to be
drive
you.
the child
Right,
to."
right.
And I
To
was
dance
like,
class.
"Girl, you're getting half a business. You drive the dog, the cat, the mouse, his shoes, his dry
Right,
cleaning." Like,
right, right.
yeah.
Alright, so now we go to Brian and the questions. And anytime they ask Brian a question, he says that he has an NDA and that he cannot discuss the affair, he cannot discuss the mistress, he cannot discuss this. And I was like, "Why are you even here if you can't discuss anything?" And like Andy says, "Why would you come on the show if you are actively having an affair and you know it's gonna be talked about and gossip about and everything?" I
Mhm.
what was his motive? I wish I knew what his motive was. It's obviously not to get more business for feet,
I
so I don't
don't
know. I wish I knew what
know,
his
but
motive was.
like the whole dinner too, when was it Joe Ellen that sat down? Someone sat down with them at dinner on one of the episodes, and it was very awkward because she had just seen the video of him and the mistress, and she just didn't
Mhm.
want to even say anything.
I
But it's
know.
just weird. Weird to come on the show, know you have dirty
The whole
laundry.
yeah,
How
the
was
whole
it?
thing is just weird.
You
The whole the whole
I'm
the whole thing is
sorry.
just weird.
I know.
So then they talk about how the mistress was part owner, I believe, of his foot business to keep her quiet. So they gave her part ownership to kind of keep this whole affair quiet, which obviously did not work. So then they talk about Andy asked about the polo match and said there was an online theory that he was not sick and the mistress was threatening to show up to the polo match. He said that they actually went to his parents' house, which wasn't that far from where they are. And they were not at the hospital. This whole thing did not make sense to me. So
So
he
he
is admitting
lied. His dad's not.
correct, correct. So to me, that he is actively admitting that he made this up and lied, and Rula went along with it. They did not go to a hospital. They went to his parents' house instead, I guess. But why?
That's
It had to
bad.
have been something with the mistress. It had to have been. Why?
Yeah,
Why
she's,
else?
like, threatening him or threatening to come
Right? Like,
out, say, like well, she posted a
so then,
ring. You sent me that
yeah.
picture
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm.
of that ruby ring.
Yes. So then Gary Joe Ellen said that he knows the mistress and she and the mistress and Brian are actually out and about. And the mistress introduced Gary to Brian before he knew him on the show as her Bia, as her boyfriend. And Rula was not happy about this when she heard that. Did you see the look on her face? So Gary said that they are very close to this mistress. They have kids that go to the same school and everything like that. Brian just keeps saying that he cannot talk about this affair, and he cannot talk about when the affair ended. Rula said, "I thought it ended when we were casted for the show." Brian said it ended last October, and Joe Ellen said it ended this year, and Rula was like, what does she mean? Why is she saying it ended this year?" Like, again, she knows nothing. He is such a lie. He lies so much to her. And Rula is definitely not over this and has not forgiven or trusted him. You can just tell by the look on her face and by the questions that she's asking. So that was reunion part 2. And
That's
there are so
wild.
many memes on the internet of Ashley's husband Jared when they're like talking to when they're asking Brian questions, his eyes are like it was so funny. Like he could not believe 1, the questions, and 2, that they were asking him that.
Your face just looks guilty, Brian. Your
Well, and
face.
the fact that
There's
you
not
keep
enough
saying, "I
Botox
have" right, and the fact that you keep saying, "I have an NDA, I have an NDA," then why are you here? Like, we want you to
because he
talk about
couldn't
this,
talk about
obviously.
the court case. One of them asked
If
him
he
about,
true
and they said he can't talk about it, but then his wife could, and or
if he
something
true
like
I
that.
mean, do you think
Or
he truly has an NDA, or is he just saying this so he doesn't have to talk about it? 'Cause I was
that's
thinking
true.
that maybe
I don't
he
believe
was
a word
fibbing
he
about it.
says.
Me
If you
neither.
can lie and throw your mom and dad under their bus and throw your dads in the
Mhm.
hospital, but really you're meeting your mistress because she's trying to expose you,
Right, right.
like,
Yeah, something is wrong with you.
yeah,
So I thought reunion part 2 was great,
yeah.
and they went
It's
into Brian, and I
definitely
was hoping they would.
it's a refresher because we
It is.
haven't seen this type of real drama. I
No.
feel like
I mean,
the other ones are
look at
so
Ky
outdated.
look at Kyle and, Mauricio. All we got was, "I'm not gonna talk about it," and just brushing it under the
I'm
rug.
not gonna talk
At least we
about
actually
it.
got some at least we got some facts here. We got some
Yeah,
dirt, we're going somewhere.
right?
So, it was a nice turn of events. McBee Dynasty, oh my god, I am loving the season of McBee Dynasty.
And then what's her face is not coming back on the show.
Yes, it was announced that Liz is departing after 1 season, which that shocked me. I thought she would be like a Cal Richards, like someone that's gonna be on there till the end of time.
Yeah, like she was the main event. She was first chair. I feel like if
Correct.
it wasn't for her and Dolores, they wouldn't have brought the show.
Let's do McBeast. We'll change the subject. We'll talk about
Okay, McD, McMead, McDream.
episode
Wild.
2 and 3. Yeah, these were great episodes
Yeah.
too.
Oh my god, did you watch them, right?
I did, yeah.
Girl, see, like, okay,
First of all, why are we giving Masha airtime? Why is she getting, like, a confessional and so much airtime?
because Big Steve is not anywhere to be found.
Ugh, I was hoping it wasn't that reason because he wanted the money still, so he's getting it through
He wants
Masha.
so he's
I was
getting it
hoping that
through
wasn't the
Masha, and
reason. Ugh.
he's antagonizing. He's instigating this drama. So Marsha has to stay on
Well, 100% he is.
for
He's a
Steve to get airtime. I mean, this kid is I can't. Anyways, so episodes 2 starts off with Steve taking Allie around the facilities and everything, showing her like the warehouses and how they work. And it's just Steve.
yeah, right. Yeah, in a nutshell.
Okay. Yeah, Aaron's there. Okay. And then Allie admits in confession that the sex was good for about 20 seconds. The fact that she
So,
said
but
20, I mean, 20 seconds is a pretty long time, right?
so they went from nothing to kissing to full on having sex.
Yeah. And they met one other time or two other times before
Right?
it.
Yeah, yeah.
And it's just, I mean, I'm glad Allie did what she did and she didn't stay.
Me too. Me too.
We'll carry on later on, but so she admits the sex was good. It's weird. Jake meets up with Masha at their house. Jake is one of the like crew members that helps with the farm.
Yeah.
He's
Mhm.
on all the episodes. He should get more airtime. He's funny. Jake
He
says that
should.
Masha's over there more and more. So I guess what she's doing now is she's cleaning out his house. And like Steve's mom's moving in. So when Steve goes to jail, does his time, his mom will be moving into the house and Masha is cleaning out everything.
So where's
To my
mom living
understanding.
now?
I don't
So where's mom or grandma living now?
I don't know. They're probably having to sell the house, her house,
Right?
to
I thought
pay.
maybe they might sell this house to get money.
Yeah, if it's on land. But then in like the first episode, after his sentencing, I hear one of the comments was, "Oh, he's going up to the new house.
Yeah.
They had
So
just
it's
built
like
him a
is that
new
like a cit
house.
is that like a city house? They all
I
have,
don't
like, a
know.
country house and then, like, a city house.
They have it. It's all confusing. But
I know.
Jake asked her if she's going to the Halloween party. She says, I don't know. Last year, Galena attacked me and got arrested.
I mean, she's
Galena
not
admits it
wrong.
on confession. She's like, yes, I did. I
Yeah,
did
she's
it.
not
She
wrong.
likes to push my buttons. Why does she show up when she's not invited?
She has a point too.
Yeah. I mean, if you know Steve's not going to be there, why show up? Like,
Yeah.
unless he is there and they're just not giving him any airtime.
I was wondering about that too. Yeah.
No. Steve is chopping wood in front of the house. And I think it's quite funny because Allie comes out with her coffee or whatever, and the axe gets stuck and he can't get it out. And then Allie's like,
Mhm.
let me try. And she gets it out. And I start rolling. I'm like,
That was so funny.
I don't think Steve Jr. is a country boy. I think they just used his face as a good marketing.
Right, right. I've thought that too.
Because what show was he on?
He was on that, like,
Bef-
Millionaire, like, Matchmaker or something, right?
yeah.
Which is how he met Kayla.
Steve, the whole fam comes to meet Allie, and I think it was a good introduction. She's very nice and very sweet. Everybody loves her. They make it known that she looks a lot like Kala, and then they
And that he
put
has a
like
type.
the pictures up together, and it's like exact
Mm.
replica. And they all like her. They all say it's different from Kala. So yeah, I don't know why. What is doing? Christy's first impression, she's bubbly, fun, and genuine, which later on she just posted a comment. I don't know if you saw her comment
Mm-mm. Mm-mm. Christy?
about Allie. Yeah.
No. What'd she
Basically
say?
said she was a paid actor.
Like,
That Allie was a paid actor and that she, if you notice, that she was playing the opposite of Kala and she did a really good job.
I mean, she did play the opposite of Kayla.
But I've seen her
Interesting.
post and she looks very genuine. Like she just looks
She
like
does, yeah.
a cowgirl. Like no harm, loves her family. And so Jesse and Allie show up, and Jesse says Steve's bringing a new woman in the mix of dad's charges is not a good look, which yeah,
I
but
agree,
you
yeah,
guys are
100%.
allowing it, like
Yeah.
basically enabling. Is that what you would say?
No, they
Enabling
are.
him?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I mean,
like say
they're not doing
something.
anything about it, yeah.
Right. Galena shows up. Everyone is getting along. I love that they're supporting Galena. Steve and Cole talk about upcoming meetings on selling the big land. Steve tries to butt in, and Cole says no. Steve's like, oh, I think I would do a better job. No. And Steve's always makes it seem like if the deal doesn't go through, it's like they have no other options. I feel like he does this the last 2 seasons
He
where he's
did,
like,
mhm.
yeah, we got big investors. And if we don't do this and this falls through, we don't know how we're going to pay the banks back. The banks are coming for us. I'm like, how many banks do you have?
Right?
Casey and Christy talk and Allie talk about Masha wanting to meet up with Christy, and Christy doesn't want to. Christy's upset about last year when she showed up at the car wash opening
Mhm.
and got in a fight with Galena. And Christy drops some steaks off at Big Steve's house, and Masha ends up being there. And her and Masha just hash it out. And Christy says, Steve said he didn't invite you to the car wash. You showed up anyways. You don't care about my family. And other stuff has gone down too, where Masha's just shown the jealousy type.
Yeah.
But we all know. And then she's like, well, we know how Steve is. Yeah, you know how Steve is, but yet you
Yeah.
choose to still be with him. So you are at
Mhm.
just as much fault as he is. So just because you want to play victim, you're gonna you got to own up to it. So Christy ends up leaving unresolved and annoyed, and I'm glad she had Galena's back.
Yeah.
And it's a good point because Christy says, me and Galena were not friends. What happened with, Galena sleeping with Steve while married to Christy?
Yeah.
Masha sleeping with Steve is different because they were friends. Galena and Masha were friends. Galena introduced them to the group. So that's the difference. And I'm glad that Christy is having Galena's back and all the girls are having Galena's back because she did put a lot of work into the farm. She did her time, she made money, and she's still staying strong. She had her setbacks, with trying
Mhm.
to deal with the breakup.
Mhm.
Allie and Casey talk to Steve on the phone, and Steve tells them he's ready for a wedding in the car. And then he goes after Allie, or he goes after Casey, I think, and says, "I'll be getting married before you." And I thought that was a
Yeah,
low
he
blow.
does.
I was
Mhm.
like, "Who talks to someone like that?"
Yeah,
Then he
especially
goes
someone who's
off.
been in your
Yeah.
family.
Like, you can't even keep a woman. So I thought that was weird. It was a really awkward conversation. Like, the girls are keep looking at each other, trying to hold their tongue, like, because they're trying to be respectful, but then, like, also trying to say, like, no, this is not normal. Galena's setting up for the Halloween party and talks to Casey. And Casey tells Galena, my God. Casey tells Galena that over the holidays, they all went over to Big Steve's house to celebrate Thanksgiving or Christmas, one of the dinners.
Yeah, yeah. Uh-huh.
And Christy was there, obviously, because she's the mom of the
Well,
boys. And
yeah.
she comes
Yeah.
in and blows up and ruins the whole thing. And they didn't know how she knew where they were at. And
Yeah.
Casey says they found out she had access to the cameras. And Galena goes, "What?" And just, I could see the light bulb in her head because I was like, "Oh, girl, go break them. Go." And she
Mhm.
did that.
Mhm.
You see her
She did
leave in
do
her
that.
car. It was a flashback from when she went into the chicken coop and left the
Mhm.
doors open. God, I
Yeah.
died. I was like, "Get it, girl." And so they flash back to the boys getting ready for the Halloween party, and they're sitting in the kitchen watching the camera footage of Galena knocking down all the cameras. And I'm like, ugh, genius, pure genius. So they're like, "Oh my God, she's going crazy." She wasn't going crazy. She's just like, she didn't want Masha to have access. And I think that's true. I think that's
Mhm.
weird. I think that's
Yeah, I think so.
overstepping. And so then episode 3 happens. Episode 3 comes and they're at the Halloween party. And Masha shows up. Masha shows up, starts her little chit chats. She starts talking with Allie, of course, and I think the other Allie or Casey or whatever, and she's trying to have a nice, decent conversation. And the way the camera put on Masha as she's talking, and then Galena's face just in the
Yep.
back,
In
like
the back. She's, like, throwing
a
daggers.
death stare. Like, why
Yep.
would you put these 2 women in here knowing that the capabilities that Galena has? Like, she will run
Right,
you over
right.
with your car.
Yes.
And I'm just dying laughing because I'm like, "Oh my God, please don't go to jail, Galena. Please don't. I will
Right.
bail you out." But Galena goes in on her and be like, "Why are you here? This is my party. Like, who invited you?" And she uses the word stupid whore all the
Mhm.
time. That's gonna be another saying on my your husband's a slut and stupid whore.
Right.
So they start arguing, and good thing Galena didn't do anything. She just was really loud. And finally, Masha ends up leaving. And I think it was a good move. I think they don't really need Masha there. I think she's like dead weight. And I really think Steve was at the party. He had a mask on. And during the party, I think it was, who's that guy that I just talked about? What was his name?
Jake?
Jake. Jake tries to pull a mask off of one of the partiers, and it kinda looks like a
Mm.
big Steve, and he was like, "Don't do it." And so I think he was there,
Yeah.
I just think he had a
He had
mask
to have
on.
been. Yeah.
Let's see, I think the next day, the family does a family day out to the petting zoo. Cole and Casey are upset he's going hunting rather than trick-or-treating. How do you feel?
I would have been mad too because even though your child is young, it's still a core memory that your child may not remember, but you'll remember this memory for the rest of your child's life.
Yeah, exactly. It's a core
Mhm.
memory.
It's a core
Everybody.
memory.
Core
Yeah.
memories are very important during the stages from 0 to what? Is it 5 or 6?
I was gonna say 5.
Okay, 5. So, yes, Cole, Casey has a right to be upset. You better have made up for it.
And she was saying
Steve
he
has
didn't
a
even
hard
go to trick-or-treating.
Yeah.
He didn't even go trick-or-treating with her. He
He
went
didn't, he
hunting or
went to the
something else
hunting.
instead.
Yeah, he went hunting. The guys end up going to the auction to sell their calves to see how much money they can get. Steve makes it a point and doesn't go. He also said that he sold the helicopter, which I thought was a good thing.
Yeah.
Because remember they had that helicopter last year and they flew into the
Yeah.
car wash, and that's how
Yeah.
he came in on the helicopter?
Yeah.
They sold the helicopter. Steve compliments her outfit. I don't know if you remember this they were at the farm petty zoo, and he goes, "Yeah, you dress exactly like my mom."
Yeah, that was weird. Why would you say that? If to me, that makes me think he's got, like, a crush on his mom. That was weird.
He's a mama's boy.
100% he is.
100%. Blair poops her pants, and Cole and Allie are fighting on the way to the car to get the outfit, and it totally reminded me of, like, "Yep, we've been there. I remember.
Right? Yep, I remember that too. "Did you pack an
I
outfit?" "No."
rem"
"Did you?" "No." Yep.
Uh-huh. It's in the
Then you
car.
get mad at each
Well,
other, right? Yeah.
mhm. They're both
Mhm.
fighting, and he says, "Calm down, Calla." Did you hear him say that?
No, I did
Okay,
not.
so you gotta watch episode 3. They're walking up, and she's walking up,
Yeah,
they're gonna go get the extra outfit, and
yeah.
she's being loud, and he was like, "Calm down, Calla,"
I did not catch
basically
that.
implying, like, "You're going crazy," and I was just like,
Yeah, 'cause Cal went
"Whoa,
crazy,
that's
yeah.
not okay." They end up going to the auction, and th I don't think they get a lot of money for the cows. They said the bids were low.
Yeah, that's what they said. I was so the cows did sell, just not what they wanted for, right? I was a little
Right, they said for
confused. Okay.
they did sell, they just didn't sell for the amount. They were thinking they were gonna get 500K at least out of the whole
And
pack, but I think
they got,
even
like, a
make
high job,
250.
right?
Yeah, they barely they didn't even say how much they made, but they didn't make a lot. They were very upset. When the guys leave, Masha calls Casey and Allie to come over and pick up the stuff left over at the house.
That was a wild talk too.
It was, but the girl stood their ground, and
Mhm.
she was like, "I would never talk to an adult or someone older than me or respect your elders," or something like that. I was like, "How old are you?
Yeah.
And you're in their territory. Like, who are you? Like, you're just a girlfriend. I'm sorry." And
Well,
so
she
they
is.
went back and forth, and Masha got caught up in a lot of lies, like, basically
She
doubled
did.
down on, "I didn't know they were dating. I didn't know they were hooking up." Girl, you knew.
Yeah.
There was a show about them. Literally a
Right?
show about him. Like, that, like,
And you were
she's
supposedly
playing dumb.
besties. There's no way you didn't know.
Yeah, there's no way you didn't know. And Galena wouldn't be so upset. You think she
Correct.
would be so upset if they weren't sleeping together? You think Galena's just pulling this out of a hat and calling, like, so I'm shocked the way Masha's acting. And Masha made the comment of like, "Well, did you tell her about the Rolexes?" And the girls were like, "Yeah, we did. Yeah, we did." And Allie says the story about Big Steve threw a bunch of jewelry away in the trash can and then washed it and gave it back to them as gifts. And they happened to be Galena's watches or something
I
from the
thought it was
house, or
I thought it was Masha's. Then Masha threw it away. Maybe Galena threw it away, and then Big Steve
Steve took it
found
out.
them,
Yeah.
cleaned them, and then gave it to both girls as, like, a not like a push present, but, like,
A baby
pregnancy gift,
gift.
I guess? Yeah,
Yeah.
thank you.
I had a baby. Where's my gift?
I didn't get
Where's my
I got
Rolex?
nothing, right? I had
I know
2.
I got
Still waiting.
I know, still waiting. So that was really weird. And then she's like, "I'm done having this conversation," and goes to the bathroom. And Casey follows her. And you can hear her talking to Steve and it's like, "This is embarrassing. I cannot believe you're putting me through this." And da 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 da. And Casey's like, "Yeah, because you're lying. You're
Yeah.
lying." And so she opens
Yeah,
the door. She's
Casey
like, "I don't
calls
want to
her
do
out.
this."
Mhm.
Yeah,
Mhm.
sees it like it is. Yeah, the boys get back or they head to the bar. It's called Turtle something. The guys find an article that Allie has been married before, Steve's new girlfriend,
Yeah, that
was
was
married for
interesting news.
6 months. And in Allie's confession, you can tell that it's still new to her because
Yeah.
she's crying in confession. It's still fresh, like, she didn't wanna talk about it in her confessions because it was just such a deep moment. She said, "It was just a moment in my life," and she just starts bawling, and I'm like, "Oh my god." I felt bad for her. She got married to some guy from New York, something like that.
So, yeah.
Yeah, I feel bad. Steve asked her to move in, like, in the hot tub. Did you see that
No,
moment?
I
He's
didn't, yeah.
he's
It's way
carrying
too
her.
fast.
Oh my, it was so awkward, like, she didn't wanna, I don't know if she wanted it. He's holding her in the hot tub. Usually you, like, sit and you can
That's
still be
yeah.
on your lap. He's holding her like a baby. Literally, her legs
Yeah,
are
it was
above the
weird.
water.
It was weird.
And I'm like, "This is
He's just such a weird guy in general.
it's just."
Like, 1st season, I really liked him, but now 3rd season, I'm
Mhm.
like, "Mm-mm." Give me Jesse, even Cole. Give me someone else. Don't give me him.
Yeah. Well, Jesse, I don't know. I don't yeah, I used to like them in the beginning too, and then as you see them, like, there's no way. I mean, the way Cole treats Allie or Casey,
They
and the way
say,
Jesse treats Allie, like, I don't know. I don't know. But everybody is raised different. They do a hard lunch on the internet,
mhm.
and she really does not want to hard launch this because she
No,
even
she
says
does
in
not.
confession, she's like, I keep my personal life personal and my public life for money, basically. Like, that's
Yeah.
how I make my money.
I thought he was way too pushy with,
He was way pushy. I mean, what they've been seeing each other for a week, 2 weeks?
a month, like
I don't It's wild.
I feel like that's why
Wild.
their relationship blew up is because it went from 0 to 100,
Yeah.
like, super fast.
I'm
He
glad she
obviously
got
wants
out,
to be
though.
married. Me too. He obviously wants to be married and settle down, that's obvious, but
And the
trying to move
list? Did you see the list?
I did see the list, and trying to move fast
My
with
god.
someone is not the way to go,
Yeah, I don't know. He's got some self-awareness to work on first
right?
before anything.
I can go with The Valley. I did 2 episodes. Episode 12, Brittany is talking to Kristen that she felt weird that Nia didn't reach out for 8 days after her surgery, even though Lacey did, which I thought was very strange because she's known Nia longer than Lacey. Zach and Jasmine get butt facials. Have you heard of that? To get their butts ready for Mexico?
A facial, like
And
a
this
wax?
No, she literally, I don't even know if we put in, like, a thong, but she literally just, like, puts stuff on your butt and, like, massages it like you're getting a facial, but it's on your butt. And this is supposed to be a total LA thing, so I was like, "What is that?" So
Mm-mm.
they both get that. Zach finds out that Danny was actually drinking at his party when Danny told him that he wasn't, and he was under the impression that Danny did not drink. Zach said he isn't sure he wants to marry Benji because he isn't sure he wants a kid, and he doesn't want it to be a deal breaker down the road, which I
Aw.
think is a good thing for Zach, but that's
Yeah.
also very hard because I feel like that is gonna be a big deal breaker down the road. If that's what Benji wants, that's what he wants, and if that's what Zach doesn't want, then that's what he doesn't want.
God. Hey,
On the way
Benji
to
just moved
Mexico
in.
right? On the way to Mexico, Kristen gets mad, because they were in a bathroom and a fan asked for a picture, and I believe she was with Kyla, her daughter. So I get where she's coming from. But she's also postpartum, traveling with a newborn, and just you're filming for a show. Like, you have so much going on that I can see why that happened. Nia and Kristen both brought their babies with them to Mexico and nannies. Brittany says the last time she was in Mexico was with Brandon, who she's no longer with. Once they land in Mexico, they go to pay for their rooms, and of course, Jesse's card gets declined. And Michelle goes, "See, I told you he's got money problems. I'm not making this up." So I don't know. I'm assuming Lacey ended up paying for the room because he clearly could not. Their
Did
first
they
night
show
there
that
is
part? They showed his
Mhm,
card being declined?
mhm,
Oh my
mhm.
god.
Yep.
In front of Lacey or
No, Lacey is not there yet. She flies in
Yeah.
next episode.
Okay.
It's their first night there, and it's supposed to be Swartzapalooza because they're all there to celebrate Schwartz's birthday, Zach, and then someone else. I don't remember who the last person is. And of course, for Swartzapalooza, it ends up raining, and they have to make their party inside. And Kaya won't stop crying, so this puts Kristen on edge and Luke. The girls all have a suite with adjoining rooms, and like I said, it's Swartzapalooza, and I feel bad. It's kind of lame because they literally had to move it inside. So it's literally like not like a palooza at all. It's just like all of them just like sitting down,
Mhm.
drinking basically. Luke and Christian are fighting this whole time, and Kristen ends up going back because she just can't stand it. I don't know if we knew this, but Janet is bisexual. Did we know this? And she said when Jason and her on vacation, Jason said she can hook up with a woman, but she has never acted on it. She said her dream woman is Michelle. And then we just end with this whole ending just being about Luke and Kristen and postpartum and being a mom, no sex, no sleep, blah, blah, blah. Same old this whole season. So then episode 13, Lala tells Danny, so they're in the girls' adjoining room, and Lala tells Danny that Janet said that Danny likes stuff on Instagram about Janet and Jason, I guess being sexual or sexual with other people. So Lala confronts him about this. Janet has screenshots to prove it. Danny saying he didn't do this. This starts a gigantic fight between Zach and Jasmine about blind loyalty. Brittany says Danny liked a post about Brittany that was behind her back, and it was an attack on Jason and Janet, and she sent it to him. So when she found out he liked it, she sent that post to Danny, and Danny didn't respond because Brittany's like, "Hey, why are you liking this? It's basically saying that I was attacking Janet and Jason, and you like this." And he did
Mhm.
not. He never responded as to why he liked it. So Brittany called him out on that. And then I guess on Brittany and Jack's podcast, when they were still podcasting together, Jack said he was going to expose Danny and Nia, and she didn't say anything about it. So they're calling Brittany out for this, saying, "Hey, this was on your podcast. You're associated or affiliated with this, and you didn't say anything about it." So I believe that's why Jesse and someone else were mad at Brittany because of this, because Jax was supposedly gonna expose Danny and Nia. But Brittany said, "I didn't have anything to do with that. That is my podcast. But again, like I'm no longer with him and I never acted on it. That was all Jax." So the next morning, it's Zach's B-Day. Kristen and Luke talk again, and I said, "I'm over postpartum baby. I'm over all of this." It's just this is their storyline this whole season. It's just annoying. They meet down at the pool, and Brittany says that she needs to talk to Zach because Zach was really rude to her last night. And she said that he writes hard for Danny, and that he said that he needs to talk to him again about the drinking, and that he will talk to him again. Some of the group goes in town to go shopping, and Nia and Janet are on the same car ride, and they end up fighting the whole ride there because Nia is calling out Janet, and Janet saying, "I meant what I said. I'm not taking it back." And Nia is saying, "It's how you said it, not what you said," about the whole him being, I don't even remember what she said, but it was not good.
Right, right.
So then Janet gets off the bus. She's really mad. She calls Jason. She tells him what's going on. Back at the cabana at the pool, Zach calls out Danny for drinking when he lied, and he says he's sorry. The group that is out shopping sits down to eat. It is Michelle, Lala, Nia, Janet, Jesse, and Tom. And Janet texts Brittany saying that this group is talking shit about you. So they bring up Danny's drinking. And Michelle tells Nia that most people feel uncomfortable when Danny drinks. And Kristen says, well, if they feel uncomfortable, then that means that Brittany, Jax, and Zach need to stop drinking because they are hot messes when they drink too. This is when Janet texts Brittany saying, "Hey, your friends are talking shit about you." And then oh my gosh, Nia and Janet get into it again. Janet leaves crying, talking to Jason, saying, "I can't do this anymore. I'm being called a liar. I'm just giving the facts. I'm not saying anything that hasn't already been said before I said it." So that is where we leave the valley. Lots of drama.
That's crazy. I hope Janet and Nia come to an understanding because Janet really wants to be friends with Nia and doesn't have an issue with Nia, but Nia doesn't. Nia, Janet needs to understand that like your words hold weight in the group.
Mhm.
And what you said held weight, and the way you said it didn't come off right, and that is why Nia's trying to say, like, the way you said it wasn't right, and she's still like she's not mad that she said it, she just should have said it in a different way. Like, if you're friends and your friend has a problem, like, you say it in a different way, you don't come and attack them and start yelling and accusing them, you know?
Correct, yeah.
Because you never heard Danny's side of the story. You just heard one side.
Yes, and you're spreading that rumor.
Yeah, and maybe he is aware of it, and maybe he is because also something about Nia is in a group, and there's another podcaster I saw. I follow her on
Mhm.
Instagram, and she is the one that goes after one of the other OGs that's no longer a housewife. But she said that Nia is in a very private group in California, and a lot of people are in it, and it's a group for people who live with people who have an alcohol problem, an addiction. And it's a very private NDA group. Like,
Okay,
if you are in this group, you don't talk about it outside of the group and you don't
okay,
tell
okay,
people you're in the group. So
okay.
this podcaster was like, how did Janet get that information? I think Janet
Yeah,
may have said, or someone said it in a confession because
okay.
you have a chip. I think you get a chip or you have a coin or something and Nia has it or somebody, I don't know. I'll have to get the facts right. But
They're saying that she's in here because of herself, or she's in here because of Danny?
she's
Danny's the one
in
with the problem.
I don't know if it's Danny, but if you're
Okay.
in that group, it means that you are getting
You
help
have it
to
for yourself.
understand someone in your
Okay.
family has it. It could be her mom, it could be
Got
her
it.
dad, it could
Okay,
be your uncle, it could be
okay.
somebody. but they're trying I mean, if the narrative is
Interesting.
Danny, it's gonna be Danny. But it was very weird because the lady was like, "How did you get that information
Yeah,
when I've been in this group, and that group is a very" I'm trying to
tight-lipped
find
group.
it, like a tight-knit group, and that information doesn't just come out. Like, so I'll
And
try and find
you saw this on Instagram?
one of the Bravo Mom podcasts, she was, doing a little segment. I'll try and look at it again.
Yeah.
I don't know where it's at because I saved so much stuff, but yeah, shoot, I'll look for it and send it to you.
I
But
mean,
shoot
I would that does not surprise me, though.
yeah.
I think deep down she knows. I don't think she's in denial, I think she's just trying to keep it from being put out there and on the show.
Yeah, because it can tarnish
You know
someone's
what I mean?
career. Like,
Correct,
you can't get
and he's
jobs.
he's a well-known voice actor/actor, so that
Right.
would hurt his career, and
And
hurt her,
that
she's
hurts
in the
her
pageant.
money. You're taking food off the baby's table,
Yes,
like
exactly, yeah.
so
We can end with Bravo news.
okay.
We already talked that Liz is not coming back. It was also
Yeah.
announced that Amanda is not coming back to Summer House, which I don't think anyone is surprised. James Kennedy is engaged to his baby mama. Let's see how long that lasts. Kyle Cook and Ava Dash. Ava is on Next Gen NYC. They were spotted kissing in the Hamptons.
Who? Which
Brian's
one?
mistress, Beth.
Kyle.
Kyle Cook and Kyle Cook and Ava from Next Gen were spotted kissing in the Hamptons. The next one is Brian's mistress Beth denies 2.5 year affair was a mistake after the reunion aired. So it was 2.5 years that they had that affair. Supposedly, The Bachelorette with Taylor Frankie Paul is said to be almost out of Hollywood jail and is going to air. I don't know if this is true. I still will not watch it.
You're not gonna watch it? Girl.
I don't think so.
You're not
I think
gonna
I'll
watch
just
it.
watch I'll just watch the highlights on TikTok.
She's in therapy
But
right now, or
I
she
was gonna say
checked herself.
in other Taylor Frankie Paul news, her ex-husband, didn't he just file, like, something against her?
He did, but it was denied.
What was tonight? Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the clip about Tom Sandoval getting physical with his girlfriend and his girlfriend's dad and
Throwing
throwing
him
him
in the
in
fire pit?
fire? And then supposedly she got arrested for alleged abuse, and then this clip comes out.
And
I was
he
like,
should have
"Stop
been
it."
there. He should have been arrested because he's the one that assaulted her
Yes!
first.
That's
And
why I
as
was like,
soon as you assault someone, you have the right to defend yourself.
yeah, I was like, "Something is not adding up here."
Yeah.
I
So,
watched that clip, I watched that video, like, 2 or 3 times.
it's bad.
I feel like
And,
every
like,
time
the
I watched
dad
it,
was
I caught
like
something new.
they were talking, but what were they talking about? They were
That's
talking
what
about he called someone a prostitute?
I don't know.
He called someone
The
like
one I watched had no sound. It was just
oh,
the video, so I
yeah, it
didn't
was
hear it.
him yelling to the dad about Sandoval saying something, one of their friends was a prostitute,
You're
and he
such
was like,
bad
"I
news
didn't say
bears.
that. I didn't say that to you." And the guy raises his hand. "I swear to God, why would I lie?" It
Yeah,
was
he's
just a bad, like,
yeah,
and
the whole thing
yeah.
is bad.
And did you see the other video where he's outside of the house and she's like, "You're an effing loser. That's why none of your other exes like you."
No.
And he's putting his little ukulele in the car.
I did see that. I
Mhm.
did, yeah.
She's yelling at him. They got a
Did
little clip of him.
he wanted the police there for him, right? Because he was trying to
Yeah,
get stuff out of the house or something?
I think he was serving her with, like, a notice to get out of
Okay,
the
okay,
house. But
okay.
then I don't know, she was on the lease, he's on the lease, I don't know, but I don't know what
Yeah, he's never gonna come back from the whole scandal.
he's just a terror I just he can't
Yeah,
catch
he's
a
a
break.
terrible person, no.
Yeah.
Ladies of London reboot is on pause, and the last one I have is Hudson McCroy. He's on Next Gen NYC. His mom was arrested for allegedly assaulting her boyfriend. So there's something in that Bravo world with assaults and everything going on.
Everything.
I don't think I have any more other news.
Yeah, Taylor Frankie Paul checks into a facility. Recommendations of her doctor. That's so sad. She's been through a lot.
That's She has,
She's been
unfortunately.
through a lot. I feel so bad for her. Yeah.
What's her face? Did we talk about Jen from Secret Lives of Mormon Wives is pregnant with baby what, 3, 4?
10?
Yeah, right? At this point.
Oh my god. And that's a wrap on the episode of Bravo's Moms Unfiltered. We hope you had as much fun listening as we did spilling the tea. Because let's be real, moms need unfiltered moments too.
Make sure to follow us wherever you get your podcasts so you never miss an episode. And if you love today's chat, leave us a review. It will help other Bravo loving moms find us.
Yes, don't forget to follow us on Spotify, Apple, what else?
Amazon Music.
Amazon. And then also Instagram.
Yes.
And yeah, like us,
That
star
is it.
us, give us your opinion, please, please, please.
Yes. Until next time, keep the wine chilled, the drama on TV, and the mom life real.
See you next week, Bravo Moms.
I'm reckless, offensive. I destroy your defenses. My guest list is priceless, and yes, I run a tight ship.